looks like we're live, guys. So first things first, Happy New Year, and may 2021 be a better year than 2020. And this is my first live, and what I want to do actually is, this is sort of a test. So I'm gonna test my setup. I've made a overlay here. There's no live chat because I hadn't installed the plugin or whatever needs to be done there. I'll check it out, but this will be in the future if I see any traction with this type of content. And what I want to do in this live is actually go through some exercises on Codewars. So aside from the Linux content and the gaming content that I do here, I want to do some programming content. As I'm a programming student myself, I'm trying to learn Python language. I thought it would be a good idea to share my experience through the learning process and through the journey. And I want to take you on a ride with me on that journey, if you want to do that. Right, so let's see if the camera can focus. Right. So if you see my head looking the other way, is because the OBS is on this screen and the webcam is attached to this screen. So if you see me from this side, it means that I'm checking the OBS to make sure the levels are correct and the image is proper. Right, so what we are going to do next is go to this website, and it's a free website. It's called codewars.com, and here it's what this site does. It's like a dojo where you go and exercise, and then you get degrees. If any of you had practiced Karate Shotokan, they might recognize this 8Q, 7Q, 6Q, and so on and so forth. These are like degrees, right? You start from, in this scenario, start from 8Q, and then you progress to 1Q. In karate, once you reach 1Q, you progress to 1 dan, 2 dans, 3 dans, and so on and so forth. But basically at 1Q, you're near to be a master. So one thing that I want to do here, because I see I have some analytics about the bitrate, so let's see if I can change the bitrate from OBS while running. I'm not sure if I can do that, so give me a second, guys. Stream. This is odd. I should be okay. However, YouTube is complaining. How do I change? Okay, I see. I see what I need to do. Not sure if I can do that now. Right, so output should be, not lower. So I need 4500 kilobits per second. I applied the settings. Alright, so it looks like it changed here. So let's see. Does this still complain? Open widget. Well, I don't know. I might need to close the connection, or close the live and then reopen it. I'm not gonna do that because we want to go straight to having fun here, aren't we? If the stream is bad, I'll check it afterwards. If the stream is bad, then I will make sure the settings are configured properly for next time. Okay, guys? All right. So I say let's jump in and do some exercises. Perfect. We're on full screen. Yeah, let's not do the webcam thingy because we don't want that. We want to see what we're doing here, not my face. Maybe after some plastic surgery, I'll add my face to the cam. All right, so as you can see, guys, I've done a lot of these katas. You can see this little check mark here. That means that particular kata, it's done. But what I want to do for exercise, I want to do some kata live and then walk you through the thought process and the logic behind the code that I'm implementing. These are easy katas. They are all 8Q katas. I'm currently at 5Q. So what I'm trying to do is go through all the katas. So basically I try to finish all the 8Q kata, then go through all the 7Q kata, and then so on and so forth. So basically go through all these challenges and perfect my coding writing abilities. And as you can see, I can scroll up to here. All right, so let's see. No, actually I have a few here that I haven't done. They're mixed and match. All right, so let's see. Polish alphabet or AllStar code challenge. Is it even? So we'll do a couple of these, and then we'll see. Okay, so let's take them in order. Basically, this one, it's not done. So Polish alphabet. And here you have the problem. This is sort of an, oh no, yeah, this is something else. This is input data, and then this is what we need to do, and then it gives us an example. All right, so, oh, train again. Looks like I was trying to solve this one. Yeah, but I haven't done anything because I don't have a pass solution in there. Right, so first things first, if it's pass, you need to remove it because pass is just a keyword to keep a function or a method empty. If you don't want to implement the code, just have the function in there, but we do need to get the code. So we need to return something. Now let's read through the problem and see what needs to be returned. So basically there are 32 letters in the Polish alphabet, 9 vowels, 33 consonants, 23 consonants. Your task is to change the letter with diacritics. Alright, so the specific Polish letters with diacritics, we need to change them in a non-diacritic letter, so basically ASCII character. Right, and our input is ST. That can be anything. So basically our ST could be equal to, here we have some examples for testing, could be this one, right, which has some weird characters in it. What we want to do is return those without diacritics, and here we kind of have a map of sorts, so we can use that data. So let's see, first things first, let's create a dictionary to hold those special characters. So let's see, we'll do that. dictionary, it's defined like this, and as you might know, a dictionary is a key value pair combo, right? So basically we have the first key, which has a value of this, then we have the second key, which has a value of this, and then we need to align it to look beautiful and be PEP8 compatible, and so on. But I think we can do this much easier. Yeah, we do. All right, so let's do tab, tab, tab. Awesome. Actually, like that, and the thing that I don't like is not aligned. There we go. Now it's aligned. Good. And now we need to take the original string, which is the this one, st, and I want to make an array of it. Yeah. So let's say new string equals st dot split, and this will give us an array. So basically new string, it's an array or a list. In Python this is called a list. So let me show you what it does. Let's see, I'll need a console for that, and here we go to Python and do this st equals something. Let's see. Ooh, not that one. All right, do I have a clear? Never mind. st equals some text here. Now if I do my st list equals st dot split, like that, and then let's say I want to see what type of variable is my st list, I'll say print my actually I need to do type of my st list and close the two parentheses, and that will tell me it's a list, class list. All right, and if I want to actually print my st list, it should give me the list. So basically each word in the string becomes an element in the array. All right, so I have a confirmation that this is doing what I wanted to do. Next, what I want to do is like so, for word in new string. Oh, this does not have autocomplete. All right, so now I'm taking each word. So basically, let me show you what it does here. For the in my st list, I do print w, and basically this should return me all the words. But now I have all the words as an entity, but what I want to do is run through each letter of the word and change it if that letter is in letters. All right, and for that I need to split each letter, each word into letters. But I can do this. For L in W. So basically I'm looking for each letter in the word. If L in letters.keys. So basically I'm looking to see if the current character or if one of the characters is in the keys. So basically is one of these diacritics, one of these characters with diacritics. Then I want to replace it with the character without a diacritic. So what I want to do is w dot replace L, and what I want to replace it with letters of L, and this should give me back the non-diacritical word. But here we have a problem, and the problem is strings are immutable type of lists. Basically you cannot change the string. You need to generate a new string, or you need to generate a new word basically. So what I want to do, so this is the new string, and I need to have a new word which is equal to that, and I want to say that if L in keys new word plus equals I'm sorry, actually yeah, no, let's go this way and then we'll see if we can optimize the code. For the first run we'll just do we'll just write the code, no optimization. We don't care about the optimization, we'll just write the code, and then we'll try to write a more compact code for this. Right, so for letters in L, new word dot, and then we make no, actually new word plus equals. All right, so if it does exist, then I want to return the value of it, right? So if I say if L in the keys, basically if the current character that I'm reading is one of these characters with diacritics, then I want to get the non-diacritic, the values with the without the diacritics, and put it in the new word. Else new word, sorry, equals L. Yeah, if it's not in there, then I want to return the same letter. Perfect. And this gives me a new word. Right, and I want to return the new word. But I also want to print the new word just for me to see what's doing. All right, so it's once it's letters, right, test, and let earth. All right, so here is the problem. Basically, it does what I needed to do, but it doesn't add the space. So everything becomes mashed together, which is not good. Okay. We'll try a different thing. So let's see. Let's see. New string equals that join s if s not in letters else letters of s or s in st. Okay, let's test it. Right, and we need to return the proper thing, and there we go, we've passed. Right, so I went with the easy way because it's easier for me to do it in my head and then do it in my head and implement it. So basically what I'm doing here, I combine multiple fors. So let's break it down for the new guys, and also we can also do this, and we don't even need this, and we have the optimized version already. Right, but now let's see. Let me try to explain a little bit what I've done here. Sorry, I'm trying to think of a method on how to explain to you what happened here. So basically, I can do this. New st can equal st. Actually, I can do this s for s in st. So this is called a how we call this? Basically, this is a for, but it's written in one line and it's attached to a variable. Or let me explain the old way. Right, new st equals an empty string. For each letter in st, new st plus equals the letter. So basically it cycles through all the letters in the received sentence, and then it gives this, it sets this new variable new st with that value. But this is basically new st, it's a copy of the st. we don't need to do that. We have the for, so we can do some better logic inside it. So let's say in here we can test if as in letters dot keys, then we want new st to have letters of s. So basically, as explained previously, if the current character that I'm looking at is the one with the diacritic, I want to get its counterpart that doesn't have the diacritics, and that I want to add it to the new string. Else I'm just adding the letter, right? So all this, the entire thing that I wrote here, can be done here. The reason why I'm doing the join is because this is creating a list, and I need to return a string. So basically I'm decomposing the original string here and create an array of it, and then I'm recomposing it with the join. Yeah, so this is the long form of the exercise, and this is the short form. All right, so let's remove this. We don't actually need that. And then we try to attempt, right? So if you test, it will run through these 3 basic tests. If you attempt, then it gives you more tests, and you need to pass all of those. So basically you have some random stuff, but they don't show you the logs. If you want to see what actually was here, you can just print the st. Do print, not pretty n. Right, do attempt, and then you'll see in the logs what you've been testing with. Bunch of stuff. Yep, and this is just for you if you want to see what has been tested. Otherwise they won't give you that content. Right, so let's attempt and then submit, and we should be good to go. We should go to the next exercise. All right, and here, once you've completed one of these challenges, you can see how the other guys have solved the issue. Right, so you can see other ways to solve it, and just have your choose your way to do stuff. See, some of the guys use make trans or translate, and these are functions related to strings. Yeah, so this is one way to learn new functions, because to be honest, make trans and translate, these are not stuff that I knew about. So let's check out the help. So let's see, help translate. Yep. translate. Translate is not defined. Yes, because this is not a built-in function, it's a string function. So help string dot translate. Okay, that guy doesn't seem to import anything, so s str maybe. Translate. Replace each character in the string using the given translation table. Okay, so he could have define the table, and he's making that particular table with the str make trans. So let's see what that does. Str make trans. Return a translation table usable for str translate. If there is only one argument, it must be a dictionary mapping Unicode original integers of characters to Unicode original strings or none. Characters keys will be then converted to originals. If there are two arguments, they must be strings or equal length. And in the resulting dictionary, each character in the X will be mapped to the character at the same position in Y. If there is a third argument, it must be a string whose character will be mapped to none in the result. Alright, so pretty straightforward. And this is what these guys are doing, and this code is even more compact than mine, and I love it. Also, another simple way, like declare two strings and then do the for method that we've done and use the replace, and you basically look at each character and say, okay, if it exists, then take his counterpart from the second string. If it doesn't exist, it doesn't do anything, it just moves on. This is the same method, but he just shortened the stuff. So he's saying, okay, so return dfc if c in the dictionary, if character in dictionary, else just return the character for characters in string. Lambda functions or anonymous function, this is another way. So basically he doesn't do the method definition because he's assigning the lambda function to a variable called correct Polish letters, and the lambdas are anonymous function, basically functions with no name. This we've seen with the make trans. This we've used to some degree. Here he does another lambda and uses map for the same reason, but I think he's complicating here. Yeah, so the most used one with the long way, like I explained in the first example. So most guys are doing this translate, make translate, or make trans method, which I'm going to use in the future if I ever have one exercise like this. This is an interesting way, but too long, too many ifs and elifs for my taste. I think it's kind of wasting time with this approach. This is another method that's being used. So basically they're declaring in values, out values, and generate the table, the translation table, based on those strings. It's cool. Yeah, this is the same as ours, but he's using the get method. Okay, this one is nice. He's importing the regexp module, so basically he can do regular expressions, and he's looking to alright, so he's defining his dictionary with the mapping of each character with the diacritics to a character without diacritics, and then he's doing a regex for any of these characters to get it from the dictionary. So see here, this is the name of the dictionary, and this is the match object, and he sets the match object here. This is the string. Yeah, this is cool too. This shows you how to use the, oh, well, not really shows you, but gives you a glimpse of how to use the regex module. Let's see another one. Or this is kind of the same things, but he's arranging it to be more readable, which is nice. Here is a mapper. So basically the same thing we've seen a couple of times. Again, lambdas. All right, very nice. So this one is done. Let's see how we are on time. So I think we have time for at least one more. All right, so we've done the Polish alphabet. Let's see AllStar code challenge. All right, so whatever, this is some teacher who's putting his challenges on Codewars, but they're public, so there you go. Let's see. Create a function that accepts two strings arguments and returns an integer of the count of occurrences. The second argument is found in the first one. If no occurrences can be found, a count of 0 should be returned. Okay, this seems fairly simple. Alright, so we have the string and we have the letter, and what we need to do is return back a counter. So let's do a counter. Counter equals 0. This is integer. We can do for s in strng if s equals letter counter plus plus. Actually plus equals 1. I don't think we have plus plus in Python. And the end, return counter. Test, we should be fine. Attempt, yeah, we're fine. And this is the long form. Yeah. There is a short form, and I'll need my trusty little helper here, bpython, because I want to see the methods in str. I know there's a count method of some sorts. There we go, count. Let's see how it works. So help str.count. Right, so string.count returns the number of non-overlapping occurrences of substring sub in string from start to end. Optional arguments start and end are interpreted as in slice notation. Alright, so we're not going to slice the string. Basically, slicing means you can take just a part of the original string and check that. Now we need the entire string. But basically, so if my string is like this, and I want to do s.count of a, this should return, if I can spell right, SCONT, count. And we have 3 A's. Do we have 3 A's? 1, 2, 3, yeah. I have 3, so this works fine. And now I believe you already figured out what we need to use here. It's basically strng that count letter, like that, and do a test. We should also be good. Do an attempt. Perfect. And submit. And since this was fairly simple, see the long way, basically the same thing, short way, but I don't think you need a parenthesis though to return stuff. Lambdas, this is nice because he's explaining stuff, but I'm doing videos instead of writing in the solution. But it's nice to see people who are doing that, just for the beginners to actually get the logic behind the code. Also, he's doing the long way, so yeah. This is complicated. He should not have done that. I mean, this is a waste of memory, to be honest. You don't need to do the while. Right, he's overcomplicating things. It's not wrong, because if the solution was not right, he wouldn't end up here. But I think it's really complicating stuff here. All right. A simple string here, docstring as it's called, to explain what it does. All right, okay, let's do another one because this was fairly simple. So we've done AllStar's code challenge, we've done the Polish alphabet. Let's do is it even, and I think this is the last one for today. We'll do more in the future. I think we are going to have a series with this kind of stuff. Alright, so let's see what's requested of us. In this kata, we are passing a number n into a function. By the way, guys, I'm not sure if I explained it at the beginning of the video what a kata means. So basically in Japanese martial arts, kata is a fight with imaginary opponents. Basically, it's a sort of an exercise to help you practice some moves, right? And when you do the kata, you are like you're fighting invisible opponents. For programming, this is kind of the same thing. You're practicing your coding skills on invisible opponents because you basically have no opponents here. So you're not competing against anyone, you're just, you know, doing the exercises so you can get better at coding. But if you get good enough, then they have kumite, which is an actual fight, like you compete with someone. And we might do this kumite thing, kumite, I think that's how you pronounce it. We might do this kumite at some point in the future. But now, like I said, my plan is to go through all the katas up to my level and then forward. All right, getting back to the exercise. So in this kata, we are passing a number n into a function. Your code will determine if the number passed is even or not. The function needs to return either a true or a false. Number may be positive or negative, integers or floats. And we need to check if... Okay, floats are considered uneven for this kata. Okay, so if we get a float, doesn't matter if it's even or odd, it's gonna be always even. Odd, sorry. Right. What we wanna check first? Alright, so we need to return a true or false, which means it's a boolean. We need to return a boolean, and we can get integer or floats. Sorry? And they can be either positive or negative. Okay, in programming, to determine if a number is positive or negative, you have the modulo operator, which is the percent sign or shift 5. And this will give you the remainder of a division. So basically, if I have 5 divided by 2 will equal, well, actually not, if I have 5 modulo 2 will equal 1. And why is because if I divide 5 to 2, I get 2, and then I get remainder 1. Remainder? Yeah, remainder 1. So this is what modulo returns. It returns the remainder, not the whole number that's returned. Yeah. What we're looking for in this kind of tests is that the remainder to be equals to 0. Yeah. So if we can do a logical test here, so I'm just gonna, we can say answer equals false, maybe. Yep. And then test if n divided by 2 equals 0. This is how you test if a value is equal to another. If you do equals, you assign the value. So if n modulo 2 is equal to 0, answer equals true. And then we return answer. This seems right. So basically what we do, we initiate the value of variable answer with false. Then we do the test. If the result of this operation, or if this test is true, then we change the value from false to true, otherwise we return. So basically we don't need to do an else here and say answer equals false, because we were already done that here in the first line, right? That's why we declare the variable, and now we can test. So I'm curious. All right, and if we attempt, nice, so it's working. Now what we can also do, and make the code even shorter, we don't need to declare all of that, we just return and modulo 2 equals 0. Basically this is a logical test of sorts. What I'm trying to do here, this will result in a true or false value, right? So I don't need to go through all these setting a variable and assigning it a value, then go to the if statement and then reassign the value depending on the result that I get. No, all I need to do is just return the actual true or false value from this test within the return statement, right? And then the code is very compact, and I could say it's fairly easy to understand the code. It doesn't seem that complicated. And if I test and then attempt, I have the same results. All tests have passed, and I'll submit. And we see other ways of how people resolve the problem. As you can see, most of the people used the same method as us. This guy did something very, very interesting. Aside from really commenting the code, like a lot, he really commented a lot. He ran through all tests. So he basically tested to see if n modulo 2 equals 1. I'm not sure really why. He's returning false. Then if n modulo 2 equals 0 will return 2 true, and then he's actually testing to see if the n is of type int. This is how you can test if it's a specific, well, actually what he's testing here, if the n it's not of type int, not of type integer. But my logic is very simple. A float can be like this. 2.1. Yeah, this is a float. If you try to divide this by 2, you'll get, any idea? 1.05. Remember, actually, well, I'm not sure how you get. This is yeah, no, it should be 1.05. Yeah, actually it says right here. Never mind. Yeah, so yeah, this is 1.05. My point being to this, I did had a point, I lost it in the translation. The point being, you cannot evenly divide a float number to an integer, right? That's why we don't bother checking for that particular case scenario, but he's doing the right thing here. Basically, when you write large programs, you want to be as explicit as you can with your functions and what they do. I think this guy made a really good example on how you can cover all case scenarios. Yeah, and then he wrote a couple of notes here, comments, to explain what he's doing. Alright, this is unnecessary, but it's nice. And then we, as usual, we have lambdas. Alright, this one is also nice. See, he's returning the same thing. If it's instance of integer, this is another method that you can use to check if a particular number is one data type or another. And this is how you do, you check for integer. So basically is instance, then you put the variable and what type of data you're looking for n to be. So what he's saying, if this returns true and this returns true, then the entire thing will evaluate to true, so it will return true. If this returns false or this returns false, it doesn't matter which, then the whole thing will return false. So he's covering all case scenarios in one go. I think we should have done this as well, but I'm pretty happy with my solution for now, taking in account that I'm not looking to write very large programs, but in the future, no, actually, let's go and do that ourselves as well. and we can do this by train again, and here we can say return, return the is instance, the variable and the data type that I'm looking for, and this is very important, and modulo 2 equals 0. Right, so again we've covered all the situation, including the float int question. Yep, and then we submit it. Now it's not really fair, but you know, for me to memorize this method of writing code, I just write it down and just repost it. And if I try to train again, this is a cool thing, you'll see past solutions here, right? So Codewars will know that you've submitted a solution at some point, and it will keep track of that solution that you've submitted. And if you submit a new solution, then it's just adding it to your thing. For example, if I want to submit the one with the large code, let's say if is instance and int if and modulo 2 equals 0, return true. Return false. And I just try to write properly. Right, so basically what I'm doing here is I'm checking if it's an integer. If not, I'll go straight to returning false. Inside of the check, I'm doing another check to see if n divided by 2 will have a remainder of 0, and then I'll return true. This should give me the same thing, but it's the long way of doing stuff. All I wanted to do with this is just show you that if I try to do it again, I'll have all 3 past solutions in here. And I think that's it, guys. Right, so this is an example of how the series will look like. For the future, I'll try to play again with the settings for the bitrate for YouTube and OBS, and I think we'll do this at least once a week. I know there's a lot of katas in here that I haven't done. I think there are 323 overall just for this level, and I've done a few, but it's not this one. I'm not really sure how many of these I've done. I'm pretty sure I still have a long way to go, and remember, this is just for 8Q. I'm trying to do the ones for 7Q as well, which are way more, the one for 6Q, 5Q, and so on and so forth, which these are going to be really, really complicated. I can't imagine what 1Q does. It's gonna be interesting. Alright guys, so hope you like this kind of content. If you do, please let me know, and write some comments below, show your appreciation if you do appreciate this type of content. This will let me know if I should do this in the future. Also, I plan to have a lot of changes on the channel, like a branding and streaming stuff, and yeah, with your feedback I know if this is worth it. So right, thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope to see you soon. Cheerios. Bye.